doesn't matter how many times you fall, as long as you try. Woman, oh woman, show me your love. Chica, chica, see you got it all. Chica, chica, see you're beautiful. Let it all out, let your feelings out. Let the world know what you're all about. Chica, chica, see you got it all. Chica, chica, see you leave me hanging.
Okay, a few things to address before we start. First of all, you're probably wondering who I am and how I ended up in your subfeed. I used to go by Nion's Noob, but I felt that name did not accurately represent the kind of content I want to make. I feel like cognition and creativity was more in line with the videos I have planned as someone studying psychology and creative writing, but who also loves K-pop and loves applying what I've learned to K-pop. I know it's probably jarring after the lengthy break I've taken from posting, but I hope you understand that I'm the same person, just with a more clear direction of what I want. And if you don't like that, I completely understand. It was nice speaking to you, and I hope the search to find something else you'd rather watch goes smoothly. That being said, if you're still here, hello! When I was originally planning this video, I thought I was going to discuss specific literary and figurative techniques in certain Twice songs, but I found that theories of the self-in and hatred for specific Twice title tracks was actually a very interesting topic to explore in its own right. So that's what I have planned for today, at least. Also, this is a part of a series I want to start on the channel called PocKet Psychology with a capital K, where I apply little things I've learned throughout my studies to things that catch my attention in K-pop. So if you would like to see more of this series, please let me know. I found the rather lukewarm response to Scientist very perplexing because I personally loved it on the first listen, which was especially odd because that almost never happens to me. It felt like a Brat song, if I'm being honest, the Fashion Pixies album specifically. But I knew there was more to my reaction than mere nostalgia, so I started looking into the lyrics of different Twice title tracks. I looked to see what was similar and what was different about some songs versus others, and I found that there was a common theme among songs that didn't have the best receptions. The popular song speakers were describing an epistemological experience, whereas those that were not received as well spoke from an ontological perspective. What does this mean? Your epistemological self is described as the me, the object that is to be described. These songs describe the experience that people have when they feel certain emotions, particularly about love, whether it be in terms of the comfort they feel around a person or in comparison to how it feels to be just a little bit buzzed. These songs typically have a warm reception. On the other hand, there are those songs filled from an ontological perspective. This perspective is often expressed as the I or as the actor. They make decisions, they act, and it is the self that we generally struggle to actually study. The contempt for songs like this stretches back to the days of Signal. Signal is an interesting song sonically alone, but it also marks the first time that Twice took their feelings of love into their own hands. They send their signals, or they describe the kinds of decisions or lack thereof that are to be made, or they want and tempt others into experiencing more together, and they call for the subject to stop looking for answers that they will never find. Why do we hate these songs? Is it rooted in some sort of hatred for women taking control of their own lives rather than sitting back and simply writing metaphors about the ocean in a man's eyes? I don't think so. I think that a lot of these songs feature interesting sonic decisions that make them a bit difficult to wrap your head around on the first listen. But I didn't feel that way about Scientists at all, which is why I'm bringing up this question now. I'm sure if you've taken any psychology class, you know about the controversy between behaviorists like Skinner and Watson, who believed you could not study the mind, versus the likes of Noam Chomsky, who said behaviorism fails to explain a child's development of language at all. We repeat some of the things we hear, but we definitely say things we've never heard, like telling a parent we hate them, or overgeneralization of grammar like I rided the school bus. In a world with computers that can mimic the activity of the brain in order to study the mind, purely studying behavior feels almost primitive. We have all of these psychological and even philosophical questions about the mind that we are now able to research through technology. We see these studies covered in articles or the news every day. Why would we spend our time on something as old and limited as behaviorism? Or is the problem the continued difficulty to study the ontological self? Is it simply a matter of relating more to what we've seen studied before, or is the epistemological self simply an area of greater interest due to that general understanding of how feelings typically manifest and how knowing as much piques listeners' interest? I definitely don't know all of the answers, and I would definitely be interested in seeing how boy group stands, or even just different girl group stands, feel like this does or does not apply to their favorite groups. I'm not qualified to speak on a subject like that at all, but if you think you have any insight, please feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.